inpatient pharmacy department and has been with the VA for about 3.5 years. Courtney was a member of the Army National Guard for 11 years and is here today to share his journey of service with us. Please join me in welcoming Courtney Lane.
I joined the military because of people I loved. I'm sure many members of the audience today could say the same thing. George Augustus Lane, my grandfather, was a lifer. With a 32-year career in the Air Force, he saw combat in World War II in the Pacific Theater as a bombardier in a B-29. He went on to be stationed far and wide, from Japan to Alaska, California to Georgia, Arkansas, and many others. He eventually retired as a colonel in 1968. The same year that my father turned 21 in a small Southeast Asian country named Vietnam. Earl Eugene Lane, my father, voluntarily left Georgia Southern University to join the Army in 1966, and he served as a fire support officer attached to an infantry company as part of the 4th Infantry Division in Vietnam in 1968. He was awarded the Purple Heart after being injured by a grenade blast. He was one of 4 soldiers to survive harrowing hand-to-hand combat when his firing battery was overrun in late August 1968 in Duke Lot. 56 of his fellow artillerymen did not make it. He continued to serve after returning home until retiring at the rank of major in '96. My childhood was filled with stories of honor and excitement, glory and tragedy, and a deep respect for our nation and for those who give their lives for it. The military was an inspiration to me, a way to serve a greater good and be part of something much bigger than myself. I first enlisted in the Georgia Army National Guard at the age of 17. I joined a field artillery unit that my father had once commanded. After high school, I attended North Georgia Military College, one of 5 senior military academies in the U.S., and was commissioned as a second lieutenant upon graduation in 1999. I continued my military career after college by serving in the Army National Guard, where I made lifelong friendships in places like Fort Sam Houston, Benning, Stewart, Jackson, Lewis, Gordon, Bliss, McCoy, and Nicaragua. I entered pharmacy school in 2000 as a first lieutenant, balancing my duty to the Guard and my studies. In 2003, at the beginning of the spring semester of my 3rd year in pharmacy school, I was deployed to Iraq. I spent 2 months stationed at Fort Stewart, then arrived in Iraq in early April 2003. I was an ambulance platoon leader in an area support medical battalion initially headquartered at Camp Bucca. My unit was responsible for providing frontline medical care to the U.S. soldiers operating out of the camp and to the enemy prisoners of war detained there. My role was to provide ground ambulance medical evacuation for Iraq's southeast sector in the area of Umm-Qasr, Basra, Shaiba, and Nasiriyah. In addition to my role as a frontline ambulance platoon leader, I also served as the liaison officer between the Spanish Army and Navy hospitals and the U.S. Army Medical Command. My time spent in the desert was filled with a mix of extremes: physical discomfort and intense friendships, apprehension and bravery, hilarity, and despair. My memories of the deployment often have a surreality to them, an otherworldly aspect difficult to communicate to those who've never been in theater. Once I returned stateside in 2004, I was slated to be promoted to captain, and I would have to be transferred to a military police battalion. Unfortunately, I learned that that same military police battalion was certain to be deployed within the next 4 months, and I was faced with a difficult choice. With my pharmacy school graduation already postponed by the 2 years from my first deployment, I feared a second tour of duty would delay my graduation indefinitely. I struggled with the 2 paths before me, uncertain of which one would pain me most. Ultimately, I felt I needed to fulfill my commitment to pharmacy school and that I could no longer continue my career in the Guard. My decision to resign my commission as a military officer is one that I did not take lightly. I had a heavy heart when I closed that chapter of my life after 11 years of service. Today I continue to miss the military and my many friends. Once I had finished pharmacy school and was nearing the end of my residency training, I began looking for a hospital pharmacy setting to begin my professional career. I considered many institutions, including rejoining the military, but the VA Palo Alto quickly became a front runner among my choices. My understanding of and identification with the patient population here, coupled with the superior services offered by a staff that 1 in every 5 persons is a vet themselves, made VA Palo Alto a perfect fit. After starting here in 2007, I've never looked back. Working at the VA has allowed me to continue to serve my country while serving those who served before, alongside, and after I did. Reestablishing contact with fellow vets has mitigated the regret I carry for having left the military and for leaving so many of my friends behind. Being in a setting where I can still honor and serve our military has been a source of both solace and pride. We can all speak to the intensity and depth of friendship forged in the crucible of the military, tempered by common hardships and polished by years of shared experiences. My time here at VA Palo Alto has allowed me to recapture the camaraderie that made my time in the military so life-changing and life-shaping. I have deep respect for our patients, as do all of you, which makes doing what I do for a living that much more meaningful. Before me in this audience are soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, whose collective service spans decades of wartime and peace. I'm proud to share the bond of military service with you, and I'm proud to stand beside you as we continue to serve our vets with our diverse talents. Thank you for allowing me to serve with you, and thank you for all your sacrifices that have kept us, and continue to keep us, free to enjoy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Happy Veterans Day.